so excited today because I have one of my favorite people, and apparently a dog is coming up to visit. I have one of my favorite people in the world, Kathy Mela. She has been, I pretty much known her for a very, very long time. She actually, I give her credit for saving my mother's life. But she has also saved the lives of many, many, countless neonates inside of the neonatal intensive care unit. And we're going to talk a little bit about why that matters and how she's using that story, that experience, and that insight that she's gained to help women leaders all over the world. So before we jump into it, let's cut to that intro and then we'll be back with Kathy. All right, and Kathy, welcome to She's in Business. We're both got our sippy cups out.
I'm hydrating.
You got to stay hydrated, especially in this heat. But you're in Florida, so you get it all the time. Unlike
All the
us
time.
here, we're just not used to it. But thank you for being on, Kathy. So let's jump right in. We're live in a few different places, and I'm really excited for people to hear the message that you have to share. Tell me a little about, I was reading all of your submissions for the show, and you've created this entire signature system to help women leaders. And you've used your experience in the NICU to inspire that. Can you tell me that story and how that's all come about?
Oh, that we could be here all day on that one. No, but so I was a leader for over 4 decades, and worked in the neonatal intensive care unit, actually breathing lives into babies. Physically putting a bag and mask, and sometimes putting a tube down on their airway, and saving their babies' lives. And I led, a group of women, 10 to 20, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And so I've been pivoting, as I stepped out of healthcare a few years ago and knew that I wanted to coach. I've been kind of playing with that a little bit and trying different people on, different things on, different titles on. And I was kind of playing small. This is what we do sometimes. We play small until we really find what our jam is. And so I've really found, first of all, I know what it's like to put myself on the back burner and sacrifice myself. And I want to help other women leaders to stop doing that, to stop sacrificing your well being, stop putting yourself on the back burner, and learn how to find what I call balance, find balance in your life. It is possible to find some level of balance. And when I think about balance, I like to give an analogy so that it's clearer, because for me, I didn't like that word for a while because I kept thinking about, like a scale that kind of balances and it never really balances. I'd like you to get the picture of a wheel. So if you think about a wheel and that there's areas of your life, you can pick all the areas you want. I go through 6 areas in my life: spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, relational, and financial. You can pick all kinds of, you can do business, career, you can have some fun. Again, you just pick the areas and then rate those areas. Like right now in your life, how would you rate your relationships? How would you rate your spirituality? Or if you're not spiritual, how would you rate your energy? Pick the things that are important to you. How would you rate your physical health? How would you rate your mental health? How would you rate your business, your career? Like, what is it, your family relationships, friend relationships? Like, just put those all in a wheel and rate them on a level of 1 to 10. Now, if you've got all of them running at a 6, that's actually, you may not think that's great, and yet that is. If they all run at a 6, that wheel rolls along nicely. However, if you've got, say, your business and career are skyrocketing and doing really well, and you're like an 8 or 9 there, and yet your relationships, I said shit, excuse me, your relationships at home suck, and you're a 2 in your relationships, okay, so you're running on a flat tire. You might feel really good in this area, but if you're low in another area, you're running on a flat tire. And so then your wheel doesn't roll well. And that's when we get stuck in life. And that's why I want to come back to that piece about our own well-being. Oftentimes that's the area that's not good. We don't take care of ourselves. We women, we tend to do that. And we don't have to live that kind of life. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today. I did bring some slides. I can share a few with you and share a little bit more about my story and how to power up with purpose. When you are in alignment with who you are and what you were designed and created to be and do on this earth, man, your wheel runs really well. And it's just running nice and no flat tire. You got good air in there.
I love that analogy about the wheel, and I don't know that I've heard it like that. And I always hear about the buckets, and I always hear about those kinds of analogies, but I really love that, especially for high performing women, of those tires going flat. And I just really resonate with that. So thank you for sharing that with us, Kathy.
You're
And
welcome.
let's see if we can get some slides going. Is it going to let you screen share?
Maybe. Let's see.
Maybe.
Let's see if it lets me do that. I think so. I don't know if you can see them on your side. Can you? Okay. I'm going to assume that you can. So I'm going to start sharing from the slides and share a little bit of information with you. I'll try. Let's see. All right. So if something's not showing or not working, I assume one of you will come back and let me know. So, I like to tell my story a little bit. So I am a mom of four. I was a single mom. I am a single mom of four. They're grown children now. I have one in their 30s and three in their 40s. So that dates myself. So I've had a lot of experience. People have asked me some of my accomplishments. Here's one of my accomplishments. I survived raising four teenagers as a single mom. And they did too. Like nobody killed each other. There were times when we thought we would, but I survived that. And I'm also a granny of seven. And this year I became a grandmother, a great grandmother of one. I have a great grandson. And so I do see a little something happening here, and that's okay. I'm just going to keep talking. Again, I feel like one of you will come back if I need to stop. So my story really is around that for 45 years of my life, I breathed life into babies. I actually, as I said, gave them PPV, positive pressure ventilation, to help keep them alive. And now what I am focused on is breathing life into the dreams of women leaders, actually with a different type of PPV, with passion and power and vision, and all when it's aligned with your true purpose. So I'm going to share with you that's a little bit of my story. My mission in life, I'm really clear. I've done a lot of personal growth, a lot of training, a lot of certifications, and I'm taking all that I've learned and I'm combining it into this system of powering up with purpose. Um, so I won't get into all the details of that, but here's what power stands for. It is about purpose, 1 degree change, words matter, explore possibilities, and reignite your dreams, your vision, your passion, your life. That's what it stands for. And so, because, oftentimes I think very linear, that we should start one place and go to the other. And that's not necessarily true. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to start mostly in the middle, because that's where the important stuff is, often in the middle. Think about, I don't know, like a donut or something. Like, a gooey donut. There's good stuff in the middle. So let's start in the middle today with the W, because this is where you start when you want to create something different in your life. And it's with your words, because words matter. Why do words matter? Because they're an extension of your thoughts. We have about 70,000 thoughts a day. 70,000. Wow. Almost everything we're thinking about, we keep thinking. Most of it's negative, it doesn't serve us, and we keep thinking about it over and over and over and over and over again. And this is we're designed this way because we have something in our brainstem that keeps us safe and comfortable. Again, I'm not going to get too technical with you today, but it's a group of neurons all the time. And with all that information, that part of our brain keeps us safe by not allowing all of it in. It helps us get automatic about things. It helps us get automatic about beliefs. Think about if you've ever think about some place that you go frequently. Maybe it's to the grocery store, maybe it's to a job, to work, maybe it's to a friend's house. Think about someone where you drive all the time. Have you ever gone there, driven there? I'll say me, and you get there and you say, I don't remember getting here. I don't know if any of you have ever had that experience. I have. And it's because our subconscious takes over. We've gone that route maybe hundreds of times, a lot of times. So our brain doesn't have to think about it a lot. And we just drive there and we think about something else along the way. And then we get there and we say, oh, I don't remember getting here. And that's part of how our brain is designed to be. So it's not a bad thing. Um, it's just that we think we can't change the way our brain thinks. And that's another myth and lie that we've been told. It's not true. We can retrain our brain. And so I invite you today to step into this idea of thinking about your words, your thoughts, and retraining your brain. So I'm going to give you a quick, I'm going to try not to talk too long today. But I get carried away with this. You can see I'm passionate. So I'm going to give you a little example of when I was working. When I worked in the neonatal intensive care unit for my first 20 years, I was a bedside nurse, and a bedside nurse does the actual care of the baby at the bedside. And then I went back to school again as a single mom and went back to school to become a neonatal nurse practitioner, an NNP. And the difference there is that the NNP works alongside a physician and actually decides the care of the baby. They also do some of the invasive procedures to save lives. And one of the things I had to learn how to do was to put a tiny tube. Let me see. I got a pencil here about the size of the end of this eraser down in a tiny baby's airway. Some of those babies were only maybe a pound or two into their trachea to keep them breathing and keep them alive. And when I first started learning that, I was worried. I was scared. I didn't know if I could do that. I was telling myself things in my head like, well, the doctor's here if I don't get it in. There's somebody else here if I don't get it in. Yet the truth is, there would come a time, and I knew there would come a time when the physician might not be there, when I might be alone, when I had to do this. And I was worried about it and fretting and not telling good things to myself in my head. And one of the doctors said to me, Kathy, you have to start saying to yourself, you have to say to yourself, I'm the only person in the room who can do this. That was a game changer for me. Think about sometime when somebody said something to you that was a game changer like that. I started taking that on. I didn't totally believe it in the beginning, and I started telling myself that anyways. I'm the only person in the room who can get this tube in this airway. And that ramped up my ability to save lives, to be able to get that tube in. Now, can everybody get it in all the time? No. But when you tell yourself that, I needed to get my level. I was probably maybe 20, 30% accurate at the time, the success rate. I got that up to 90 to 95%, where that's what I said to myself. And there was a couple times when I was at a hospital when there was no physician who was going to be able to put that tube in. And thank goodness I had retrained my brain to believe that I was the only one, and I was the only one who could do it. And I did it. And I saved a baby's life because of it. So retraining your brain, I saved lives with it. Now I want you to save your own life by retraining your brain and the way you think. So the rest of it, I'll give you a brief overlook of the process of what I take my clients through. And so it's purpose. What is purpose? We hear a lot about purpose. It's sort of thrown around a lot. I want you to get clear what that is. It is not your kids. It is not your job. It is not your significant other. It is not your community. It is not a charity that it's not even your pets. It's who you're designed and created to be. It's the essence of you. That's a whole different story. What you do with that essence of you is your family, your significant other, your dog, your pets, your kids, your job, your career, your business. That's what you do with it. So it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different way to live when you don't know your purpose, then you're just kind of going through the motions of life. I want you to be intentional with your life. I want you to play full out in your life. So that is what purpose is. And I want you to think about the So then the next part is what when I talk about purpose, I like to think about what holds you back. What are some of the stories that hold you back? And we don't like to think about them. Start noticing your language. Start noticing things you say to yourself. Oh, I can't do this. This is too hard. Oh, the problem is I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm smart enough. I don't know how to do this. I can't figure this out. These are things we say to ourselves and they're not true. You are smart enough. You are worthy. You are valuable. You can figure things out. You just have to retrain your brain to believe it. So the O is 1 degree change. And this is where we get into the action. This is creating consistent action by taking one step at a time. Oftentimes we see some big change we want in our life, and I'll give you, say we're taking a trip to, I'm in South Florida, say I'm taking a trip to Alaska. Well, that may seem like something that's just so hard to do. It's like, oh, I don't even know where to begin. Well, where do I begin? I begin by doing some research, taking one step at a time to learn whether do I want to take a cruise? Do I want to drive out there? Do I want to fly out there? Like getting some information and taking one step at a time, gathering that information and then figuring out what's the next step. Then I want to save some money. Then so it's taking those steps and then I want to plan a date when I'm going to go. And then I want to put all my ducks in a row that I've learned and take the trip. So it's those little steps, little by little, a little becomes a lot. And that's what I want you to think about. The 1 degree change. A ship is changes direction by degrees. If a ship is aiming at this direction, this degree, and even changes at 1 degree, the ship will wind up at a different port. And by you bringing 1 degree change, small incremental steps into your life, you can change. You can change little by little. So, and it's learning to trust yourself. I put this element of trust because sometimes we don't always trust our intuition. Tapping into your intuition is big. I ignored mine for a long time and it was there and it showed up sometimes. It showed up when I was going back to practitioner school. When right before I went, I was really in a place of frustration. I was unhappy where I was at in my job. And yet I loved the babies. And I got offered the opportunity to go to practitioner school. Oh, in a minute, I knew I was going. I had 4 kids. I had to go away to school for 3 months. I had to figure out where my kids who was staying with them, who's going to watch them, where they're going to go. I had to figure out my finances. I had to figure all that stuff out to go to school. And there was my gut, my intuition said to me, you're going. And so there was never a question. I figured it out. I made it possible. And so this is what I want you to start learning how to do with the E is explore possibilities. What's possible for you? Being in curiosity and wonder, that's a cool place to live. Be curious to what can be different in your life. What is it you really want? I'm going to give you some questions in a minute. But these are two things that I practice a lot. I call them first day and last day. And so, first day is going into each day like you've never been there before. Walking around your house, going around your neighborhood, looking at your kids, looking at your pets, looking at your significant other, like this is the first time you're with them. Remember, for those of you that are moms, the first time you held that baby, when you fell in love the first time, how you felt. You didn't notice all the person's faults. You were like in awe. Approach your day that way. Start having a few minutes. You don't have to approach the whole day that way. You might not want to because it's a learning experience. Approach the day, take a walk outside and look around and notice things you've never noticed. Be in awe and wonder of the first day, this experience of your life, and then practice the last day. What if today was the last day of your life? How would you spend it? What would you do? I've held hands of lots of people dying. I've held babies dying. I've held the hands of parents while their babies died. I've experienced that. This is one of my passions. I want to make sure we honor that dying process in our lives and in our families and honor it in the way that we want to honor it, again, with your beliefs. I have a friend right now whose husband is dying and he's in that last stage. And so, what is it? It's being very mindful. It's not what I want, it's what they want. What do you want? What if today was your last day? What would you be doing? Who would you talk to? Think about that occasionally and start playing full out in your life because you know what? We all only have this one amazing life. And It's over really quick, no matter whether you live, 100 years or you live 3 minutes. It's over pretty quick. It goes by in a blink of an eye. I can't believe that I'm 68 years young, sitting here changing my career and stepping into something new. And yet it's because I have passion, I have purpose, I have a vision. I power myself up with purpose every day. And so that's what you get to do. You get to get clear about your purpose, practice 1 degree change, practice words matter and monitor your thoughts, really explore possibilities, and then reignite your dreams. Breathe life into your dreams, reignite your vision, your passion, your life. As I said, this is one amazing life you got. And so these are some questions I want to leave you with that you can think about. I highly encourage putting pen to paper, journaling, giving that gift of time to yourself to take 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes once a week, whatever it is that you can fit into your life, and start asking yourself some of these questions. I like to take people through this process of awareness. What do I want? What don't I want? Oftentimes we get clear about what we want by what we don't want, and then get in alignment. Who am I? Who was I? Who am I right now? Who do I want to become? Oh, that's a good question. Who do you want to become? And then take action. What is my next right step? And then be accountable. Be accountable to yourself. Some of the accountability is to get clear how you define success. Don't let other people define success for you. You know that thing, comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing ourselves with others. Don't live in the shoulds, the coulds, the woulds, the have tos, the supposed tos. Really get clear who you are, define your success, and who and where is your tribe. And then can do continual ongoing assessment, like what's going right in my life? What is it I need right now? What do I want to change? These are some questions you can ask yourself. And if you don't know how to be accountable to yourself, then find someone. Get someone that you trust, an accountability partner. There's evidence out there that when you have accountability in your life, your success is ramped up something like, I don't know, I forgot what the number is, but at least 3 or 4 times, if not more. You have a much greater chance of success, something like 70 to 80% chance of success, if you have accountability with someone you trust. It can be a partner, it can be a coach, a mentor, a guide. Like, find someone who can support you in breathing life into your dreams. If you want to connect with me, I'd love to connect with you and talk about that. So that's my process that I take through people. I remind you, it's power up with purpose. Purpose, 1 degree change, words matter, explore possibilities, and reignite your dreams, your passion, your vision, and your life. I do have some affirmations, and I just want to share with you briefly a little bit about affirmations. We sometimes get here, well, those don't really work for me. So I'm not going to stand because I'm on camera, but I'm going to talk to you about how to do affirmations. And I do have this card. You can look at it. I can send you one if you want to get on IG or message me through Facebook or IG, DM me affirmations. I'll get this card to you in a digital form, or if you want me to send it to you, I'll be happy to send it to you. And it's really about finding an affirmation that works for you. So oftentimes we hear an affirmation, and I'm going to give you one. Um, and I'm going to show you a couple things, and then we say it. People say, "Oh, well, I want to be a millionaire." So I said I'm a millionaire for 60 days and it didn't work. I'm not a millionaire. Well, first of all, you have to use language that your brain will believe. If you don't have $1 million in the bank and you say to your brain, "I'm a millionaire," your brain's going, "No, you're not. You're a liar." So you have to change that up a little bit. You have to make it your own so that you believe it. Saying something like, I'm taking steps to become a millionaire. I'm saving money to become a millionaire. I'm growing a business to become a millionaire. Like, just saying something your brain will believe. So I want to share another one of my favorite ones. One of my favorite affirmations that I say all the time is, I am worth more than all the money in the world. I say that to myself because there was a time in my life when I didn't feel worthy and valuable. And that mantra, affirmation, was given to me. And when I first started saying it, it felt kind of icky. And then I started imagining all the money in the world, all the money from all the different countries, all the gold, all the silver, all the jewels, the diamonds, the rubies, like everything. I'm worth more than that. Yes, I am. Do you believe you're worth more than that? And so you may not be able to say that. So I want to share 4 steps to saying affirmations: language, physiology, emotion, and repetition. So we know the repetition part. It's important to, I usually tell people to stand. I like to get in my Wonder Woman stance, like with my hands on my hip or with my hands on my heart, something that means something to you. Get in a physical physiology stand. And I highly encourage you to stand, and then get some emotion into it, get some feeling into it, feel into it. So I'm going to show you the difference. So I can sit here and say, I'm worth more than all the money in the world. Do you believe me? Hell no. You don't believe me. I don't believe me. Here's the difference. I'm worth more than all the money in the world. I am worth more than all the money in the world. I am worth more than all the money in the world. So you see the difference? That's what I wanted to share with you. That's my tip to you, is as you begin to find ways to retrain your brain with the old crappy stuff you're telling yourself, stop beating yourself up, stop being mean to yourself. You would never let a friend talk to you the way you talk to yourself, and start retraining your brain, your limiting beliefs, and power yourself up with purpose. Um, so that's what I wanted to share today. I do have 2 quick things that I want to share that I've got going. Actually, 3. I didn't post one of them. So I am a co-author in a book. It is called To Speak, Lead, and Impact. Right now, it's only available on iBooks. So for those of you that have an iPhone, you can go to speakleadimpact.com and download the book for 99. You can't download the book. You pre-order the book for 99 cents. All of the proceeds are going to United Way. So that makes me feel really good. And yeah, we're making this a bestseller. And so help us make this a bestseller. These are all our stories about being called to lead, speak, and impact. And then what I've got going on right now for me this summer, for you really, is a summer reset. And I'd love you to join me, and because I want people to really get clear about what's going on for them. We just hit July. We just celebrated Independence Day in the U.S., and we're in the second half of 2022. What have you created this year so far? What are you creating going forward? It's always important to look back and reflect, and then where are you going? What do you want to put out there? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want to create in your life? And it doesn't have to be that you're a speaker or like Kate's doing, getting on having a business like this. Maybe it's as simple as you want to have better health. Let's talk about some things you might want. Maybe it's better health. Maybe it's a little more money. I like money. Maybe it's better relationships. Maybe you have a job and you want to enjoy your job more. Maybe you want to change jobs. Maybe you want a promotion. What is it you want in your life? Join me for this easy breezy summer reset and get clear about how to move forward in this last half of 2022. So thank you, Kate, for letting me go on. I did put here a way to get in touch with me, and yeah, let me know. Let's have some questions. You probably have some questions.
I actually do have some questions. Tell me more about the book, because was this a collaboration? I know that especially our SIB members are all kind of like, we want to write a book or they want to be contributors on a book. Tell me about the book, how that came about, how you guys decided on United Way. Give me the whole story.
Okay, so one of my coaches and mentors is Wendy Blum Weiss. She's here in South Florida. She has wanted to do this kind of collaborative book project for 5 years. She was looking for the right publisher, and she found her, Patricia Wooster, who's got experience in that arena. And basically, and actually, if people want to know more about it, message me a book, and I will get you the link. Wendy they're starting a new project, and they only have 18 slots of people to write to be a co-author. And I'm not sure the title yet. I don't know. But she just brought people together to tell their story. And it's so cool because none of us we're people from all different walks of life. I didn't have that vision to see how this was going to come together. Like, I know my story, I knew a few people's stories. Some people, I'm like looking at what they do in life, I'm like, how is this coming together in this kind of book? Well, we just had an event last week called Unleash Your Superpower, where most of the authors came and spoke for a few minutes. And boy, listening to them speak, you could see the thread of the word magic just came to me. The thread of magic of how all these people, basically had a struggle, a challenge in life, how they walked through that, how they not I don't like to say overcame it because we don't necessarily overcome it, but how we get on the other side of it so that we are powering up with purpose, so that we are stepping into our lives more powerfully and brilliantly. And then United Way, Wendy knows some people from United Way, so she just, I mean, her and Patricia kind of decided that, which was okay with me because that fit right into me with the
Yeah,
babies
yeah.
and United Way and helping them out. So I'm thrilled that all the proceeds from this initial book launch will go to United Way.
Perfect. And we'll link all the links also in the show notes and the comments and the descriptions wherever you guys are watching or listening to this. But can you tell them, for people who are on the podcast or just kind of listening, where they can connect with you, where they can get that book, give them all the deets?
Probably the easiest way is to go to my link tree. It's just Kathy Mela. I actually have the slide if you want to just put it up there. I have a QR code here too. But that's the easiest way. That the book is there. The link is there for the Easy Breezy Summer Reset, and probably a couple other things. How you can connect with me if you want to call me, speak with me. So, and if that doesn't work for you, if you don't want the link tree, just message me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Clubhouse and YouTube. So Kathy Mela is the name. You'll find me there.
Love it. Well, thank you for joining us today, Kathy. I always love talking to you. I hope that you'll maybe come debrief the book launch process after everything's like complete and done, and keep us updated with how you're doing.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I really feel honored and yeah, that you invited me to come on. I'm
You're
excited.
what you're one of my favorite speakers in the world, and you always have such great insight to share. So thank you for sharing it with the audience.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Go
everybody.
be
We'll see you guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
signing off. Go be amazing.
Go be amazing. I love that one. Yeah, so everybody, go be amazing. Go follow Kathy. Go check out that book. It's going to be amazing. I know I'm going to check it out. And we'll see you on the next one. See you guys later.